Hello, 6th grade. Why don't you all come and turn and look at me? I am gone again. And I apologize to my 4th hour, my 6th hour, my 9th hour. I do not apologize to you. It's the 2nd hour. We spent the last week, pretty much, the last few days, talking about latitude and longitude. Latitude and longitude is a tool to help you find your absolute location. All right? It's an imaginary system we've created. I mean, it's a system we've created. I suppose it does exist as a system of imaginary lines across the planet, and you can find your location based on those lines. However, and you all have a latitude or a longitude right now. All right, you guys want to know what your latitude and longitude is? Just make my head very small. Everybody, that's North America. That's the United States. That's the Midwest. That's Peoria area, Peoria County. This is Dunlap. This is Dunlap Middle School. And that is right about where my classroom would be. I suppose for me, actually, I'm right there by the window. But Shri is right there by the door. All right? So Shri, your latitude and longitude is 40.85212 degrees north, 89.673. Is that 985? Degrees west. Exactly where you are on the planet right now, okay? But we spent a lot of time talking about location, and you have an actual location. I want to make sure that you guys also are able to give me some real world examples, that you're able to talk to me about the other 4 themes of geography. So I'm only going to let you raise your hand and contribute once. So I need all of you to be thinking and using your brain and contributing here. Let's talk about place, movement, region, and human environment interaction. Can any of you give me some real world examples of maybe how those 4 themes of geography are evident in your life or are related to your life and where you live on this planet? Oliver, why don't you start us off?
So like people would build boats out of logs for human environment interaction.
Okay, so we depend on the earth to grow trees because we need trees for things like building boats. Okay, all right. Shriyansh?
The Midwest, that's a region.
What's the unifying characteristic of the Midwest? What makes it a region?
It's in the middle of the United States.
Okay. All right. So just geographic location, where it is the thing that makes it a region. I would also add that we have similar climate, and that we have similar industries, lots of agricultural industries. I would also add that there's a cultural similarity between the people in the Midwest. By the way, the people in the actual middle of the country, I would say, are the Great Plains. But like the Great Plains, one of the things that makes the Midwest is we're kind of situated between the Appalachian Mountains on one side and the Rocky Mountains on the other. There's not a map behind me. I don't know why I did my hands like that. Okay, that's a region. Anybody else? 4 themes that we haven't talked about a ton? Anybody have a guess as to why I'm making you do this, by the way? Annie?
Because we're going to have a test on it.
On Tuesday, very good. Ryan, can you tell me what kind of questions do I like to ask you on your level 4, on the level 4 of your test? Do you remember? Writing questions, where I make you write the answer out. Yeah, so if you're not paying attention currently, because you're just trying to avoid not getting called on, recognize that you will all have to answer this kind of question on your test. So practicing now would not be a bad idea. Brendan.
So for like movement, how we travel,
like we travel in airplanes, cars.
Got a number of different ways to move ourselves around. Yeah, we've built roads to facilitate that. There's train tracks. There's airports. Good. How about another type of movement? How about movement of goods? Anybody have an example of how goods? I'm not calling on anybody I've called on already, so you guys can put your hands down. Anybody have an example of how goods are moved in your life and how that matters? Hannah?
Goods are moved by quarters, like moved by tractors.
Sure, but not just how they're moved. Tell me like how that's impacted you. Or do you have any goods? Do you purchase any goods or sell any goods that have been moved? Okay. What are you wearing? Where do you think that shirt was made? Don't know? That's okay. Do you know where any of your clothes maybe were made? Do you own anything, Hannah, that might have been made outside of the United States? Like what?
I have a doll that was made in China.
All right, so clearly you live in a place that trades with China because you have stuff made in China. I'm not sure how many of the things I'm wearing are actually made in the United States. I bet very few of them, all right? We live in a society where goods are moving all the time. How about the last one? People, goods, and? Movement is about the movement of people, goods, and? Shri? Ideas. Shri, can you tell me, how do ideas move the quickest in your life? What is this? Okay, what is the computer connected to? The internet, right? I'm making a video right now that you guys could watch over the weekend because it's such good entertainment, all right? That's an unheard of thing in the history of mankind. This is the fastest, not necessarily most effective because social media is a disease, but it's the most effective way to communicate ideas. The internet. You can do it anywhere, all right? Also, guess what we're doing right now in school? Yeah?
Communicating with each other.
I'm sharing ideas with you, right? You guys are sharing ideas with each other. School, technically, is an example of movement. It's movement of ideas around the world. I give Bella an idea. She moves to Tierra del Fuego. And next thing you know, boom, ideas have moved around the world. Do you know where Tierra del Fuego is? I'm fairly certain that Tierra del Fuego means land of fire. I'm sorry, 4, 6, and 9th hour. You guys are not interested in this at all, but Bella's just dying to know where Tierra del Fuego is, so we're zooming in on it. Somewhere down here it says Tierra del Fuego. It's do you see it? Is it this? This? This is Tierra del Fuego. So if you move all the way down to here, where there are like very few roads, ideas will have moved from my brain to yours. Let's zoom back on Dunlap Middle School. We want to make sure we're keeping track of where Shri is. Oh, you can see she shifted in her seat. She's slightly in a different position. All right. We've done movement. We've done human environment interaction. Can somebody tell me about place? Ian, go for it, bud. What's place? Can you tell me the definition of place? Forgot? Somebody help him out. Tyler?
What it's like.
Coming back to you, Jake. What it's like. Okay. Jake, can you tell me what is the land? What's the geography? Human or physical characteristics? What's it like where you live?
Like where I live.
Sure. Or whatever you're going to tell me.
Can I tell you the definition of place?
He already did. What's it like? What's it like when you get there? What are the physical and human characteristics? So now I'm asking you, where you live or where you go to school or whatever, where you like to go play football, what are the physical or human characteristics of that place?
My house is like a wooded, almost like a wooded area.
Okay. What's your house made of?
Bricks.
Okay. So everybody, those are going to be parts of the place. Those are going to be parts of the characteristics of his geography. He lives in a house made of bricks. He lives in a wooded area. Okay. Place is kind of the easiest one. Like, location is where are you? Place is just tell me about it. All right. I'm going to ask you. Actually, on the back of your homework, I have asked you to explain how two themes of geography relate to not just your life, but an event, right? I've given you the tornado in 2013 in Washington. How do 5 themes of geography relate to that event? I'd like you to think about them in relation to that, but also just in relation to your life, because when we come to our test, I'm going to ask you for real world examples again. All right? I'm going to ask you to explain them in a way that demonstrates you understand them and you understand how they could be applied to real life. Let's walk through your Canvas post together that you are going to be working on 4th and 6th and 9th hours, so please pay attention especially to this. Step 1, you're going to get out your Chromebooks when I say go, and you are going to complete the geography pretest. It is the same thing we've done before, asking you to identify the continents, the oceans, and the directions on a compass. That's all. All right? Step 2, get out yesterday's hurricane activity and complete it. When it is done, put it in the basket. I had one email question saying for Jamaica and Costa Rica, do you just want us to estimate? Yeah, I want you to estimate. On the back of the hurricane activity, I want you to estimate. When it is done, put it in the basket. If you do not finish it, it's homework. All right? How many of you are missing your Chromebook today? Anybody? Good. If you do not have your Chromebook with you, 4th, 6th, or 9th hour, this form needs to be done for homework as well. Please don't do that with any resources. That is just to see if you guys are remembering your continents and oceans. Next, if you finish the homework with plenty of time, look up the addresses of the 5 or 6 locations on the sideboard using your Chromebook. We will be doing a little lesson on the map of Peoria next week after our test, and it would be helpful to have some basic addresses written down. I've written 6 addresses or 6 locations over here. Dunlap Middle School, here. Your house. Don't share that with anybody. I just want to make sure you know the address of your house. If you know the address of your house, you can skip that one. Number 3, trampoline park. Elevate. I should have said Elevate Trampoline Park, but I started with Trampoline Park. There are 2 of those. Don't give me the address for the one in East Peoria. Next, Northwoods Mall. A lot of people wrote that. Next, shops at Grand Prairie. And finally, the Peoria Civic Center. There were some other ones that were written down, like Bradley University, like the zoo, I feel like a lot of people said McDonald's. If you want to find the closest McDonald's to your house, go for it. I don't know. However, I am asking you for the address, not for coordinates. Okay, so do not give me its latitude and longitude. That does not help me get around. I do not tell my GPS, take me to 89.463 degrees west and 40.572 degrees north. My GPS would say, what? Actually, my GPS has an Australian accent. So it would say something like, crikey, mate. All right. Then step 4 says begin looking over your study guide. Your study guide looks like this. That test is on Tuesday. Are there any questions for me? All right, I have one more note then to say. I am currently adding grades to the grade book. I would encourage, when you finish the hurricane activity, 4th, 6th, and 9th hour, and 2nd, check your grade book, check Power Score for my class. I am putting missing assignments in, or incomplete assignments for everybody who has missing or incomplete assignments. I can also say that 2nd and 6th hour both have somebody who turned in something without their name on it. So it is currently in the no-name basket, and I will make everybody boo and hiss at you while you go pick it up and write your name on it and turn it in again, okay? So check your grades. If the sub would not mind, there's a pile of papers. Actually, no, the sub doesn't have to deal with this. I'm going to put papers up on the front table in front of the basket for your class. Go ahead and go through those and find yours. They're ones that I've already checked. There's no grade on them. Nobody will see your grade. But go ahead and go through those and check them to make sure. And that way you can study them over the weekend if you want. Okay? Are there any questions for me? Get to work.